The United States is being accused again tonight of spying on some of its closest allies. But this time there is a major Canadian connection. In fact, Canadian complicity. Documents obtained by CBC News show that the U.S. was monitoring the communications of world leaders while they were all in Toronto for the G20 summit. And Canadian officials approved it. The CBC's Greg Weston has the details for us tonight. Greg.
Peter, this secret U.S. government document tells a remarkable tale of Canada-U.S. relations. For 6 days, the U.S. Embassy here became the command post for a U.S. spying operation on Canadian soil. Remarkably, all with the blessing of the Canadian government. 26 world leaders came to Canada as friends, trying to solve a world economic crisis. By all appearances, Stephen Harper was the perfect host. Canada rolled out the red carpet inside, and outside Canada mounted its largest ever security operation. But behind the facade, this top-secret document paints a different picture of Canada's hospitality. In it, the U.S. National Security Agency details its plan to spy on the G20. The operation, the NSA says, was closely coordinated with the Canadian partner. That partner is the Communications Security Establishment, or CSEC. Both agencies collect foreign intelligence for their governments by covertly intercepting phone calls and emails and hacking computers. The NSA document deals partly with security concerns at the summit, but it also talks about providing support to policymakers.
Here you have a conference of leaders where there's surveillance being done not simply to secure the meeting or to protect it against terrorism, but also to forward the policy goals of the United States and Canada to essentially enable them to have their agenda served during these negotiations.
Glenn Greenwald obtained the top-secret memo among thousands of similar documents from former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. One of those implicated Canada, the U.S., and Great Britain in a scheme to hack into the phone calls and emails of world leaders at the previous G20 summit in London. That was the year before the Toronto event. More recently, CSEC was outed for spying on the Brazilian government. That story touched off a political firestorm both in Brazil and in Ottawa.
This kind of surveillance for economic ends or to give advantage in contract negotiations as opposed to security is something we see over and over, and I think that's what this document yet again reveals.
International security experts question whether the NSA spying operation at the G20 in Toronto was even legal. It is illegal for CSEC to target anyone on Canadian soil without a warrant, and they doubt the courts would grant one to spy on summit leaders. CSEC's partners are also forbidden. And there's another troubling scenario for this expert.
If CSEC tasked NSA to conduct spying activities on Canadians within Canada that CSEC itself was not authorized to undertake, then I'm comfortable saying that that would be an unlawful undertaking by CSEC.
Peter, we contacted the U.S. government, but they would not address the spying allegations directly. Instead, they pointed to the fact that President Obama has ordered a complete review of the NSA's operations in the wake of the Snowden revelations.
Greg, what does the Canadian government say about all this?
Well, we contacted CSEC, Peter, and so far it's living up to its reputation as one of Canada's most secret operations. It did not respond to our questions.
Greg Weston in Ottawa tonight. Well, Greg has been reporting on Canada's spying activities for months. You can find all of his past stories and reports online, including an exclusive interview with the former head of CSEC and an explainer about what we actually know about the country's most secretive eavesdropping agency.